We are Southeastern 16 as we talk SEC football. I'm Chase Robinson as we continue our series of three bold predictions for each of the SEC teams. Today we land on the Auburn Tigers. So I'll give you three bold predictions on the Auburn Tigers heading into year two of Hugh Freeze's era with the Tigers. First, let's talk about BetOnline, the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% free bet of up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the Olympics to baseball to Formula One racing. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, go to the online casino, get in on a game of blackjack or poker or one of the over 150 slots games. Head over to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. That is promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. BetOnline, the game starts here. So for the Auburn Tigers, again, Hugh Freeze heading into year number 2, leading the Auburn Tigers. You've got Peyton Thorne back at quarterback for the Tigers, and they've done some revamping in several different areas. Wide receiver room, which I think is big, along the defensive line, which I think was a great move by the Tigers. So this brings up an interesting year after finishing 6-7 a year ago. What does the Auburn Tigers look like this year? I've got some bold predictions when it comes to Auburn heading into 2024. So my first bold prediction for the Tigers is that the offense averages 35 points per game. Last year, they averaged about 26.2 points per game. But I feel like what they've done with the offense has done nothing but make it better. That's the wide receiver additions. That's another year of developing Peyton Thorne. Last year, you saw a lot of inconsistencies from the quarterback, but I feel like this year he's in a position where he doesn't have a guy like Robbie Ashford right behind him that the coaches are occasionally putting in and giving him playing time. So I feel like Peyton Thorne could never really get his game established and in that starting role. But now it's his. It seems to be his. He's all alone there with that role. And when you add a guy like Cam Coleman to your team, he's just a freshman, but there's been so much talk about him. And having seen him play, I know what kind of receiver he is. 5-star guy. You also add Perry Thompson. Sam Jackson, they will move to receiver. You've got some depth of the tight end room. There's so many pieces, and that's just catching the ball. And then you've got Jarquez Hunter at running back, who is a great back there. You got Amari Elston and Jeremiah Cobb as well. Peyton Thorne can run the ball. So I think offensively, they're going to be much better this year with the upgrades that they've made and just with more time in Hugh Freeze's system. He's calling plays this year, which I think is another bonus for the Auburn Tigers. So my bold prediction is the offense averages 35 points per game. It's a lot, but I think with the offense, what they've done, maybe it's doable. So that's a bold prediction there. Offense averages 35 points per game. Another bold prediction for the Auburn Tigers is that the defense holds their opponents to 3 yards per carry. Last year, they finished the season averaging 4.4 yards per carry. But again, I mentioned there's a lot of changes up on the defensive front for the Auburn Tigers. They, of course, brought in new coordinator, but you've got Keldrick Falk, which I think he's a great player along the front there. Jason Jones, he's back. And then you've got Trill Carter, transferred from Texas. Gage Key, transferred from Kansas. Philip Bleedy from Indiana. And Isaiah Rakes spent some time at A&M. And then most recently at USC. So they brought in a lot of guys to provide some depth across the defensive line. You think of the guys in the secondary. You've got Eugene Asante coming back. You've got Keontae Scott. You got Austin Keys. I just really like the way this defense is looking right now. So I'm going to say they hold their opponents to 3 yards per carry. Again, that is a small number, but when you look at the defense, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Again, especially the improvements they made up front on that defensive line. I think it's going to they're going to cause some problems. They're going to wreak some havoc. They're going to put some pressure on some of these offenses that they will face. And so, yeah, I got bold prediction. The defense holds opponents to 3 yards per carry. Third bold prediction is the Auburn Tigers win 10 games. You look up and down the schedule for Auburn this year. They've got a lot of home games. First 5 games of the season at home. They have 3 in a row from November 2nd through November 23rd at home. They do have to make a trip to Georgia, Missouri, Kentucky, and Alabama. But you got, 8 games at home. That's always big, and especially when you play in a place like Jordan-Hare Stadium, really one of the toughest places to play in the SEC. And so you go on the road. I mean, it's you can win some of those games as well. So my bold prediction is that the Auburn Tigers win 10 games. Again, you think back to last year, 6-7. Hugh Freeze entering year 2. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's a bold prediction. It's bold to say Auburn could win 10 games, but that is a bold prediction. It's my bold predictions. The Auburn offense averages 35 points per game. The Auburn defense holds their opponents to 3 yards per carry. And third bold prediction, the Auburn Tigers win 10 games in 2024. So should be an interesting season for the Auburn Tigers. Again, they've made a lot of improvements, a lot of upgrades. So we'll have to see how that translates to the field in year 2 for Hugh Freeze in a new look SEC, adding Texas and Oklahoma. We've got you covered for the Auburn Tigers and the rest of the SEC here on Southeastern 16. Yeah, subscribe to our channel and hit the like button on this video. Share it with your friends. And we got you covered with SEC football, basketball, and baseball daily here on Southeastern 16. If you want to sponsor our content, we would love for you to do that. You can reach out to caroline.smith at southeastern14.com and begin those conversations on what it would look like for you to sponsor our content here on Southeastern 16. We got you covered. SEC Football Hour each week, along with all of our videos we put out here as well on Southeastern 16. We will be back as we continue with 3 bold predictions for every team here on Southeastern 16.